Some say
All right, folks, welcome to today's live stream. How is everyone doing? Today's live stream is going to be a bit brief. I just want to kind of go over Bitcoin, just update you guys on my thinking, and also talk about something extremely interesting going on in the Polkadot ecosystem, which is the Kusama Parachain auctions are finally a go. So let's talk about it. Let's delve into that. Let's talk about what projects are likely to get a parachain slot, and I'll show you guys exactly which ones are likely to slot, not based off my intuitions, but based off which ones are currently the most well positioned to get a slot. So folks, if you like the sound of that, do me that favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. What up, Matthew? What up, Venter? Jay Pody? What up, everyone in the house? Does everyone think we're going to get one more big dip this weekend? Possibly. We're holding up, I mean, not completely terrible as of late, but we did lose the key support level of 36,000. That is very no bueno, very bad news bears. Bitcoin is bearish here, but let's see how we react off 36,000. If we can get above 36 this weekend, then that's a good sign, but we're yet to delve into that. Let's see. Doing good, man. How are you? I'm good, thank you. So how is I want up, not in a dip. Sure, man. Look, either way, I like the energy, I like the positivity. So folks, let's talk about Bitcoin. Really, there's not a whole lot new going on, but I really just want to hammer home what's important here with Bitcoin. Folks, people are jumping to conclusions, and Bitcoin is rightly bearish and rightly concerning in the short term. And in the short term, Bitcoin is bearish. We're seeing nothing but lower highs. We're seeing lower lows. We tried to pump. We couldn't break above. Bitcoin is bearish. Nevertheless, in order to seek a bit of clarity, what we need to see is higher highs or lower lows. So I think Bitcoin's kind of stuck between strong resistance at kind of 37,500 and strong support at kind of 34,600 region. So if we cannot hold this area here as support, we're probably going to fall back down to 33,400 and about 40 and maybe retest these lows. Ultimately, guys, rejection is nothing to be panicked over. The key factor is putting in these higher lows. As long as you put in these higher lows, we're good. Also, I wanted to take a look here and examine how often did major corrections last with Bitcoin. This one lasted 11 days, 11 days, 12 days, 18 days. So throughout the bull trend, throughout this cycle's bull trend, we had corrections lasting between 1 and 2 weeks, less than 20 days consistently. So far, since this correction, we've been correcting 33 days, quite substantially, over a month at this point. And if you measure it from all-time highs, it's quite a bit more. So from all-time highs, we're corrected for basically 60 days, two months at this point. But since the most recent correction, roughly 34 days, we've been correcting at this point. Now, if we kind of look at historically, what did terrible corrections for Bitcoin look like and how long did they last? So here, when the global pandemic first hit, back in March 2020, thank you very much for that update. We had a correction that lasted 35 days. 35 days. That's how much this correction lasted. After 35 days, we started to move up again. So, isn't it interesting that we've corrected right about the same amount of time. Guys, I do believe a relief rally is warranted, but it's still not a guarantee that we'll see one. Also, another major, I've been getting a lot of notifications right now. Another major correction lasted 20 days. Over here, this one, the final capitulation, the lows of the previous bear market, 32 days. So what we're seeing here is that these major correction periods lasted roughly a month, just over a month. And so if we examine, how long we've been correcting this time around, I believe we've been correcting 34 days since the previous, since kind of when our first drop happened, but really up to 2 months. So this is pretty out of the ordinary, especially in a bull market. I mean, over here, we had corrections lasting 2 weeks, 30 days, 36 days. So this is one of the longest correction periods Bitcoin has had, which is very interesting. But again, just based off how long previous corrections, major corrections have lasted, when we corrected to the bottom of the bear market and the global pandemic hitting, both those times was roughly over a month where we corrected. And that's basically what's been happening in this case. And so if we take a look here at our indicators, we're seeing that if we go over to the daily, we're extremely overextended to the downside, having a bullish crossover. Now, the momentum is looking weak, but the momentum is on an upswing. Folks, how did I not notice this until now? How did I not notice this until now? Folks, I think I just noticed something very interesting, very interesting, which is, okay, this is actually pretty significant. I'm very glad I noticed this. All right, guys, so if we take a look at this cycle's parabolic growth, what did we see here? Every higher high we made during the bull cycle coincided with a lower high in price action. That is classic bearish divergence. Whenever you see higher highs in price action, lower highs in RSI, that's telling you that the uptrend is running out of strength. So we went from extremely overbought to now oversold. All throughout this time, the downtrend was running out of strength. Now, if we zoom into the short term and we examine what's happening right now, what are we seeing? We're seeing lower highs in price action coinciding with higher highs in RSI. Classic bullish divergence. Guys, just like how we were getting higher highs in price action, lower highs in RSI, that was bearish. Now, since we're getting lower highs in price action, but higher highs in RSI, that's telling us that the downtrend is running out of strength. So, guys, just how you could have called bearish divergence and you could have called weakness in the market due to this RSI, here in the short term, one may anticipate hidden strength building up in the market and weakening of the downtrend, weakening of the sell pressure. Because just like before, how we're getting higher highs in price action, lower highs in RSI, coincided with the beginning of the downtrend. Now we're getting higher highs in RSI paired with lower highs in price action. It's telling us the downtrend is running out of strength, that the bulls are gaining a bit of momentum. And it's not just that. We have a bullish crossover on the daily MACD when it's the most oversold it's literally ever been. It's literally never been this oversold, having a bullish crossover. The more oversold it is having a bullish crossover, the more significant that is as well. Also, going over the weekly, if we notice at the weekly histogram for the MACD, we're starting to see the histogram round out here. We're not making dramatic moves to the downside anymore. The momentum is starting to round off here. So as soon as we see kind of the weekly here, histogram start to move up, again, that's a telltale sign. We're seeing strength build up in the daily RSI. We're seeing strength in the momentum on the daily with the MACD, although it's not super convincing because look at this histogram. We tried to break down, but we couldn't. So, folks, I mean, I'm not ready to call it just yet. These are just two indicators. This is not the end all be all. Bitcoin's price action still is very precarious. Ultimately, what we need to understand to have clarity here is confirmation. Either making a higher high or a lower low. If we make a lower low, if we break below $30,000, then that's going to start looking like a bearish breakdown from a macro head and shoulders pattern, and the price target for that is bottomless. So what I'm doing is I'm practicing risk management, moving the stable coins every lower low we make, because every lower low we make makes it more likely that the downtrend will continue. But with that being said, I believe kind of the last stand for Bitcoin is 30,000. As long as we hold 30,000, as long as we don't put in a lower low, then there is some hope that eventually, at the very least, we may have a relief rally. And guys, even in the 2017, 2018 bear market, we never just went down forever. We went down, had a relief rally, down, relief rally. And again, if we draw a trend line from all-time highs to the next lower high, we can see how we went back up to retest it, got rejected, and that was confirmation of the bear market. This time, what have we had? We have had a massive move to the downside with no relief rally, no testing of this trend line, and therefore no confirmation of the trend quite just yet. So a lower low below 30,000 would constitute a bearish breakdown and bearish confirmation. And so if we drop below 30,000 again, that would make it likelier than not that we could be entering an extended bear market. But as long as we keep putting in these higher lows, then there's still some hope. And ultimately, getting above this red trend line would be confirmation of the bull market. If we can break above, come back down to retest, hold it as support, then that would be confirmation of the uptrend. Yeah, so folks, that's what we need to look out for with Bitcoin. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. No need to jump to conclusions. The price action will tell us it's more or less likely. And guys, again, I'm starting to notice this. I'm starting to hear some crypto YouTubers talk about this. I've been saying this for months, and folks, pay attention to what I'm about to say, because once this happens, everyone and their mother is going to be talking about it, and I'm going to let you guys know right now, weeks before, or maybe days before it happens. Guys, this daily RSI, we've been holding this as resistance the entire time. So as soon as we see bullish divergence from this trend line, this resistance level on the RSI, once we do something like this, breakout, come back down, retest, hold it as support, and then impulse up, that is our cue that the bull run is ready to continue. Once we see bullish divergence from this RSI, this resistance level that we've held all throughout the cycle as well, I find it extremely interesting that just as those higher highs in price action, lower highs in RSI led to the downtrend, these lower highs in price action, but higher highs in RSI could lead to our relief rally. So ultimately, we need further confirmation on that, but something very, very interesting to note with Bitcoin. And again, guys, wait for the confirmation, wait for the breakout. Market will tell us what's more and less likely. Now, guys, enough of that. Let's talk about Polkadot. Let's talk about Kusama. Let's talk about the Parachain auctions, because there's endless interesting stuff going on there. Major developments with the Kusama ecosystem. Parachains are going live very soon here. So let's begin to talk about that. First off, guys, do me this favor. There's 80 people liking, only 20 likes. Smash that like button. Do me that favor, and we'll continue here. So Kusama is holding up it's pretty well compared to a lot of other stuff in the market. So if we draw a trend line based off these 2 wicks and just extend it, we can see that's kind of where we're reacting off here in the short term. So for Kusama to look short term healthy, we really need to hold this line, because even here we retested it, held it as support, here held it as support. So if we start to break down below 375, then Kusama could probably go for a bit of a substantial leg down here to about 320. I mean, I could see this even falling further, 260 and then 220. So we pretty much have to hold this green line as support just based off technicals. But with that being said, folks, for those who don't know, we have Parachain auctions starting with Kusama, and I want to let you guys know, not based off my intuitions, but based off evidence, what projects are likely to get a Parachain slot, and thus what projects are likely to do well. And just to briefly explain how Parachain auctions work with Polkadot and Kusama, is Polkadot and Kusama, they essentially do the same thing. Kusama is just a fork of Polkadot, and the way the Polkadot ecosystem works is that it is this. If you want to be a Polkadot project, you need a Parachain slot or a Parathread slot, and you got to pay for that. How do you pay for that? You either get a Parachain slot through Kusama or through Polkadot. Kusama is the canary chain. It's where it's kind of like the prototype chain, right? It's where all the improvements go first, and after they've gone to Kusama and they're tested, then they get adopted in the Polkadot ecosystem. So they just do the same thing. Kusama and Polkadot, pretty much the same thing, except Kusama is the canary chain. It's the test net, all right? And it's a lower supply, lower market cap version of Polkadot. And so if you want to be a Polkadot project, you need a Parachain slot. You get a Parachain slot by buying up Kusama, in this case, if you want a Kusama Parachain slot, and locking it up for an extended period of time, roughly 336 days, 331 days is what is the information I'm getting for the lockup period for the Kusama Parachains. And so, guys, these Kusama Parachains are happening in 3 days. On the 15th, they start. So starting on the 15th, there's going to be dozens and dozens of projects bidding to get a Polkadot, a Parachain slot with Kusama. And again, you do that by buying up Kusama and locking it up. So I want to share with you guys the projects that are most likely to get a Parachain slot first. And those projects are here. So if you go to parachain.live, it'll tell you what projects are looking to get a slot on the Kusama network. So the number one project most likely to get a spot first is Kurora. Kurora is a DeFi hub. It's a swap, also lending and borrowing protocol of the Kusama ecosystem. So guys, if you believe in Polkadot, if you believe in Kusama, then you should believe in Kusama Polkadot DeFi. And this is one of the leaders when it comes to Polkadot Kusama DeFi. And folks, they're set to be the first project ever to get a Parachain slot with the Kusama ecosystem. So I'm very, very bullish on this thing long term. I've actually participated in this Parachain auction. I've loaned out my Kusama in order to get Kurora. So the way these Parachains work is that these projects are raising Kusama either through private funds or public raising, where you loan out your Kusama to these projects and they in return give you their native tokens. So I lent out my Kusama to Kurora and they will be giving me Kurora KAR in return. So I also wanted to show you guys the 3 ways in which you can participate in these auctions. I thought I had it pulled up here, but it doesn't seem to be here at the moment. That's okay though. Let's see if I can find it. Pull it up here on my other screen. Bottom line is the way you participate in these auctions are 3 different ways. You either do so through your Polkadot wallet, your Polkadot.js wallet, or through some exchanges. So Kraken and KuCoin are the 2 exchanges participating in the Parachain auction. So if you hold some Kusama on either Kraken or KuCoin, that will allow you to participate in the Kusama Parachain auctions, and it gives you a bunch of different options for staking and basically loaning out your Kusama. So I chose to participate in the Kurora auctions. There's 3 ways you could participate in the crowd loan: via the Kurora website, via exchanges, so Kraken, OKX, and KuCoin, and via the Polkadot wallets. So you have 3 options here. Again, the way this works is that you loan out your Kusama, they give you Kurora in return, and the lockup period is about 336 days for your Kusama. So if you do this, you will not have access to your Kusama for, again, 330 days over, right? So just be aware. And I will be getting Kurora CAR in return. And so these are the other projects likely to get Parachain slots soon. Moonriver, Robonomics, Sherpa X, that's like ChainX, but for the Kusama ecosystem, Bitfrost, all these projects right here. So these are the projects that are likely to first get slots. And by the way, it's going to be very interesting to note which projects first get onto Kusama, because the projects that first get onto Kusama could have a decent fighting chance of being one of the first getting onto the Polkadot Parachain auctions. And so once the Kusama Parachain auctions go and they're successful, then some weeks and months later, that's when the Polkadot Parachain auctions start there. So yeah, guys, no, again, this is what I recently got into Kurora and Moonriver as well, although more heavily into Kurora. And so I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with that. Because guys, this is a very big deal. It's one of the most bullish catalysts in Kusama's and Polkadot's history in their ecosystem. And again, just to bring it back to price action here, as long as we can hold the line here, then we could see more upward momentum. As if we start to break below this trend line, oof, we could probably fall quite a bit more. Yeah, like 320, maybe even lower. We'll see. So that is what's going on with that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Smash that like button 100%. Are they done selling those billions yet? I'm not sure. Million Dream says I'm bullish. Guys, look. Historically speaking, when the market's the most fearful, that was the best time to be buying. And so, look, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is mostly what I want to get off my chest. This is just a very, very quick live stream. I just wanted to update you guys on my thoughts with Bitcoin and with the Kusama Parachain ecosystem. Look, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here in a bit, unless you guys have any questions. I know this is a very quick and dirty live stream. I just want to get something out for you guys. Guys, we live stream. We've been putting out content every single day since September 2020. We haven't missed a goddamn day, and we won't moving forward. Every day we're gonna bring you guys the most important things that we're looking at in the market, staking opportunities, trading, investing, what we think of the state of the market, bull market, bear market, the coins we're looking at, that kind of stuff. So folks, this one was quick and dirty, but if you like this and you want more of it and you want to support us, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon, notified of new uploads. Arctech says, has anyone heard about betking.io? Apparently you can earn, yeah, no, okay, so someone's just chilling here. So guys, no, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Let's see if anything interesting is popping up on our hash charts in Bitcoin held on exchanges. Guys, this is very important, kind of following what Bitcoin's going to be doing. Bitcoin held on exchanges, because the more Bitcoin on exchanges, the more potential selling pressure, and thus the more bearish Bitcoin is looking. So Bitcoin has actually been somewhat leaving exchanges, although not very convincingly. We are seeing lower highs and lower lows, which is good. We want to see this downtrend continue, because if Bitcoin starts to enter exchanges more and more and more, that's not good. That's confirmation of weakness. But if Bitcoin starts to leave exchanges continually, slowly but surely, then that's confirmation that the market is perhaps feeling a bit more optimistic. So whenever there's a significant shift in Bitcoin held on exchanges, we will be letting you guys know, because this is a very, very important indicator of the state of the market. Same with the hash rate. Hash rate, especially recently, has been extremely correlated with price action. Whenever there's a sharp drop in hash rate, it is usually led by a sharp drop in price action. Especially now when we're seeing a lot of when China's clamping down on Bitcoin mining, the hash rate is very sensitive right now and very telling. So whenever there's a major shift, higher highs or lower lows, we will be letting you guys know as well. Pete Malter says, what's your favorite altcoin? Well, this might be a bit of a cop-out, but my favorite altcoin is Ethereum. I think Ethereum is likely to be the next Google, the next Facebook, the next thing that the global decentralized financial system is built on top of. And also, guys, just to briefly mention why Ethereum is inevitable, in my opinion, is because of the same reason that crypto is inevitable. Because the whole reason why do we even have cryptocurrency? Why is it necessary? The reason why we have cryptocurrency, the reason why we have blockchain technology, the thing that all cryptocurrency is built on top of, and the reason why cryptocurrency can be trusted, is all because of blockchain technology. Blockchain technology allows a decentralized network to trust in the conclusions that the network comes to, because there's no single point of failure, and the whole market needs to decide and agree upon the state of the market together in order to reach consensus. So, to put it even more simply, why do you want crypto? You want crypto if you want to be able to store and trust data in a decentralized manner where there's no single point of failure. Because the issue with centralized systems, centralized banking systems, if the power goes out, if there's a power outage, your e-transfer won't go through. If there's a issue with some part of the network that's centralized, everything gets shut down. The thing about crypto, the thing about blockchain, is that there's no single point of failure. All Bitcoin mining and all Bitcoin and all crypto could be completely shut down out of China, out of the US. Bitcoin would go on and chug along its merry way, exactly the same, in the short term, the price action would be affected, but the network health would not be affected because it's decentralized. There's no single point of failure. One country can choose to shut down all the mining, all access to crypto. That doesn't matter because cryptocurrency is run on globalized computers. So you want crypto because you want something, a network where you can trust the information that has no single point of failure. That's what crypto is. That's what blockchain is. That's why you can trust it, because one country could shut something down. It won't affect the state of the network. And so something like Ethereum is pretty much inevitable because Ethereum is the project that's most well positioned to have the next global financial system built on top of it. Sure, there's a legacy financial system, and that's obviously going to stick around, but there's a lot of reason to have a decentralized financial system with no single point of failure. Maybe countries in certain people might fight it, but at the end of the day, there's clear use case with the people, and as long as people have access to the internet, decentralized finance will seem attractive. It will be worthwhile. So that's why I think Ethereum is inevitable, and that's why I think Ethereum is the next Google, it's next Facebook. And yeah, guys, in the short term, we can enter a bear market. We could correct for a month. We could correct for 3 months. We could correct for 6 months. We could correct for a year. We could correct for 3 years. But at the end of the day, everyone here watching this live stream is on the right side of history. If you're in crypto, if you're in solid projects, not garbage like Shiba or SafeMoon or some other scam that's going to be gone a year from now, but if you're in quality projects such as Ethereum, such as Bitcoin, these things have staying power. Fuck what happens in the short term. Fuck this regulation FUD. It's all nonsense. It's all coordinated FUD to shake out retail. Who cares what happens this month? If over the next 10 years, Bitcoin's going to be at 1 million and Ethereum's going to be 100,000. Who gives a shit what happens this month or next month? It doesn't matter. Guys, we got to have a long-term outlook when it comes to crypto investing, because the people who've been the most successful are not people who FOMO buyed a pump and then panic sold a dip. No, the people who were the most successful in crypto were the people who bought at the lowest point when nobody wanted to touch it, when everyone else was selling and nobody understood it, and held it forever. Those people who buy dips and hold forever have been historically the highest performing investors in the crypto landscape. And we're all in crypto and talking about crypto. 130 people here, we're all interested in crypto because of the return on investment potential. Sure, the technology is interesting and I'm here for it. I love the technology. I'm trying to learn blockchain development myself. But at the end of the day, we all understand the potential gains in this market. And the people who've made the most sustainable long-term gains were the people with the longest outlook, with the long-term outlook in the market. Guys, like imagine if you would have bought, Bitcoin back over here at 3,200, back in 2019, bottom of the bear market. You wouldn't give two shits about this correction if you bought it at $3,000. It's still over 10x, even after a 50% correction. So guys, have a long-term mindset. Understand that we're on the right side of history. We're in the right trade. It's just the timing that's difficult. Yeah, this is volatile as shit and hard to call in the short term. So fuck the short term. Who cares about the short term? The short term brings the greatest risk and the least reward. So why would you be concerned with short-term investing? No, we got to have a long-term outlook, because the longer you're willing to hold, the less your risk and the greater your return on investment potential if you're holding quality. Because if you're holding something like Shiba or SafeMoon or some other pump and dump project, it might not survive a bear market. But if you're holding quality that has a good chance of surviving a bear market, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like Kusama, like Cardano, like Polkadot, like VECHAIN, all projects that are going to survive a bear market, come back next time and bounce back even stronger than ever before, then there's really no need to worry, unless you need money to pay the bills and keep the lights on. So that's all I wanted to say. With that, we are currently breaking down from our trend line, so this is very bad news, bears very no bueno. I would expect Kusama, if it cannot get above this trend line soon, to fall back down to probably 350 to about 320 in the short term. But again, guys, super bullish catalyst quickly approaching. The 15th is 3 days is when Parachain auctions start, and they're likely to go on for a few weeks. These are the leading projects so far, Corora, and again, I have participated in this Parachain auction myself. If you go over to the website, these are the 3 different ways in which you can participate. I'm actually going to put this in the comments. So if you guys go to the comments, I'll leave the link for this website if you're interested in Kurora yourself. So let's see what you guys are saying here. What's your favorite altcoin? Yes, Ethereum is probably my favorite altcoin. Could the May be hot? Could the May be the relief rally because it followed a lower low? I'm not sure, broski. I don't know what you're saying. Car will explode. I like Car a lot. Guys, look, I love Kusama, and I gave up a bit of my Kusama to get some exposure to this project. Also, something you got to understand is that they won't give you all of the project all at once. I believe the way they're doing it is that they'll give you a little bit of your allocation, and then later on they'll give you a bit more and bit more. So for example, let's say you're supposed to get 10 car. They'll give you 3 car up front, and then slowly over time they'll keep releasing the rest of your car. That way they don't flood the market all at once with a bunch of supply, which makes a lot of sense. It's very that's standard practice in this space. What are your thoughts on Shidden? No thoughts on Shidden. Probably shitty. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying. Andrew says, what other projects are you trying to get involved? Kusama crowd loans. Well, Moonriver as well. Moonriver, Sherpa X I like just because it's Chain X of the Kusama ecosystem. And for those who don't know what Chain X is about, so Chain X is just a bridge that allows Bitcoin to move into the Polkadot ecosystem. You plug your Bitcoin into Chain X, it gives you a wrapped version of Bitcoin. I think XBTC or PBTC, I forget what it is, but it gives you a wrapped version of Bitcoin, and you can take that and you can stake it, you can lend it, you can flip it sideways and upside down, you can do whatever you want in DeFi through Chain-X. And so now with SherpX, once the Kusama Parachains go live, you can plug in your Bitcoin into SherpX. It'll give you a wrapped version of your Bitcoin, and then you can take that and go to Kurora and stake it, loan it out, and earn yield. So Kurora, Moonriver, and Sherpa X are personally the 3 that seem the most interesting to myself currently in the market. So that's what I'm looking out for, guys. And again, folks, look, I think I'm going to keep this one pretty short and sweet here. I don't want to drag this along because ultimately I just want to give you guys a brief update with Bitcoin and the state of the market. Folks, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon notified new uploads, because anytime anything interesting happens, we're going to be talking about it here. And folks, remember me. I have been saying this for weeks. I've been saying this for months. This daily goddamn RSI. As soon as we see bullish divergence, you're going to hear everyone and their mother talking about this. So hear me now and quote me later. Hear me before this happens, because a couple days, couple weeks from now, once that happens, everyone's going to be talking about it. But I'm letting you guys know now before it happens, as soon as we see bullish divergence from this resistance on the daily RSI, that is when Bitcoin is ready to take off. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.